Do you ever wonder what makes the difference between those who wildly succeed in a given year and those who stay stagnant? I think for me, what I have seen working with hundreds of entrepreneurs and being an online business myself, it's the people who invest in themselves intentionally and regularly who succeed. And there's almost no better way to invest in yourself than reading. Somebody said once, I heard this, that a book is so valuable because you have decades of someone's thoughts and experiences distilled into 240 pages that you can pay $15 for and completely digest. That is a pretty remarkable thing. And so in this video, I want to give you 3 books that you should read between now and the end of the year if you want to have the best 2025 possible and you want to grow your business. My name's Lane. I help people replace their 9-to-5 income with a thriving online business without hustle, grind, or having to build a large social media following. If you're into that kind of thing, welcome. Be sure to subscribe. The first book is called Buy Back Your Time. Buy back your time, get unstuck, reclaim your freedom, and build your empire. This book is all about the idea that as entrepreneurs, we have this tendency to want to do everything ourselves and to feel like it's necessary and even noble for us to continue to do everything ourselves. So we make our own videos, we edit our own videos, we write our own sales copy, we answer our own email, we send out our own newsletters, we build our own products. And again, this can seem necessary and natural, especially in the beginning, to do everything. What he says is that if you actually want to get unstuck and at the same time build freedom in your business, you have to buy back your time. And so his concept kind of turns on its face this idea of growing your business, like hiring people to grow your business. He said instead, hire people to buy back your time, because as the kind of main entrepreneur in your business, the leader of your business, the most valuable thing that you have is your time. And so if you can buy back that time, your business will grow. One of the things that I learned from the book that I loved is he has a really great formula for discovering how much your time is actually worth. Like what task should be given to someone else. And here's the formula. I'll give it to you. It's one of the cool insights from the book. And there's so much more. Let's just say that you want to make $200,000 a year. That's what you feel like your time is ultimately worth because you make that much money. Divide that, he says, by 2,000. And in that case, you get $100. The reason why you divide it by 2,000 is there's basically 2,000 work hours in a year. So over $200,000 divided by 2,000, you get to $100. If you divide that by 4, anything that you do that is more than 1/4 of those hours is not worth you doing. So that comes out to $25. So if you're doing any task that you could hire out for $25 or less per hour, you should not be doing that task. I also really love his story. He comes from noble beginnings. So do I. He overcame a lot of poverty. So did I. He had it rougher than I did. So I'm inspired by him. And it also challenges me to do even better. Number 2, Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller. Now, Donald Miller, if you're familiar with like kind of his writing, he actually started out years ago as like a Christian author, speaker. He wrote some really huge book called Blue Like Jazz. About 10 years ago, maybe, he kind of shifted gears into marketing, and who knew it? He's like one of the best there is about how to grow your business. He really came on the scene with his Building a Story Brand book, which everybody talks about building a story brand. It's amazing. It's a great book. But Marketing Made Simple is such a straightforward how to walk someone through, how to walk a person through the customer journey of discovering even the problem that they have, discovering you, and discovering that you solve that problem, and then how you solve it, and then selling them your stuff. I listened to this book. By the way, most of these books I listen to. That's a little hack. Life is very chaotic. It's very hard to sit down and read 240 pages in a book. But you can listen to the book while you're at the gym. You can listen to the book while you're, doing the dishes. So I listen to almost everything. But as I'm listening to this book and working out, and he's he's putting into such simple terms how someone comes into contact with your website, what they see, what appeals to them, what gets them to move from one part of your website to another part and then to another. And everything he's saying makes so much freaking sense, and it's so simple. And so if you're stuck, this is a short book. There's not a whole lot to it in terms of length, but there's a ton of substance. I love it. One of the key insights that I got from this was he talked about how you wouldn't just go up to someone that you've never met before, that you're interested in dating, and just say, "Hi, my name is such and such. Would you like to get married?" Okay. Like, you just wouldn't do that. You would walk through kind of a process of getting noticed by them, and then, getting to know them, and then maybe asking for their contact information, and then taking them on a date, and so on and so forth. He says that in business, we have that same progression. Like, people don't just go from not knowing anything about us to just, okay, now I want to buy your stuff, even though I know nothing about you. He walks you through like a very, very good detailed process. The third book is one that completely changed my business this year. It actually set me on a completely different direction than I ever thought I would go in the 5 or so years that I've been doing this business. Before we get to that book, I want to tell you, if you want a complete step-by-step process to build an online business, attend my workshop, the Turn What You Know into Dough workshop. You can find it over at lanesebring.com/workshop. I'm going to show you every single step that it takes, 4 steps, to build a business that makes your first $1,000 a month consistently. It's free. It's on demand. You can watch it today. lanesebring.com/workshop. Third book is called 10X is Easier Than 2X. It's by Dan Sullivan with Dr. Benjamin Hardy, not to be confused with the one Grant Cardone wrote of a similar title. That's a different book. This is Dan Sullivan. So Dan Sullivan is a strategic coach. He's been a coach of entrepreneurs for a long time. He's in his 70s or maybe even close to 80. Dr. Benjamin Hardy is this young guy who comes along and he says, "Hey, Dan Sullivan's got some really, really good ideas that he's never really put into like books before." And he happens to be a really good writer, this Benjamin Hardy guy. So Benjamin goes to Dan Sullivan and he says, "Hey, these books, like these concepts that you teach all the time, that you've taught for the last 50 years, they're incredible. They need to be in books, so they're kind of immortalized." So they paired up, and the first one they wrote, well, they wrote a lot. One was called Who Not How. But this is one of their recent ones, How World-Class Entrepreneurs Achieve More by Doing Less. Here's the thesis of 10X is easier than 2X. If you want to 2X your business, it's actually pretty hard. And I can say this, I've 2X'd my business a few times. And what it always means when you 2X your business year over year, you're basically saying, I want to do everything that I'm already doing, just do double, right? I want to get all the results I'm already getting in the same way that I'm already getting them. I just want to get twice, like 2 times the results. And the problem with that, and I experienced this in my business, I was able to 2X, when there were smaller numbers. Like when I first got into business, I went from, like the first year I was in business, I made like $7,500 before I knew anything of what I was doing. The next year I made 15,000. The next year I made 30,000. Those were like 2X jumps, even though the numbers were very small. The next year I knew a little bit more about what I was doing. I made 90. So I went from 30 to 90. That was a 3X. But the next year I went from 90 to 150, not quite double. Then I went from 150 to 220, not quite double. The thing that I've learned, close to double, you get the idea. One time tripled, a few times doubled, a couple times not close to double. But what I found, if you look at the line all the way through, it's close to double. It was the results that I was getting, averaged out. And the way this book describes what it takes to 2X, because the title is 10X is easier than 2X, which intrigued me because I thought, well, I've 2X'd my business and it was pretty freaking hard. There's things about it that weren't that hard, but like it's hard to keep doing it every single year. And you're telling me that 10Xing is actually easier? It's a little bit off-putting. I was a little bit offended, to be honest, because I thought, okay, I've done this and you're telling me I could do 5 times what I've been doing and it would actually be easier. And here's how it all makes sense. Here's the point. What they say in the book is that when you 2X, You do everything you're doing, you just do more of it. You just do double. You get double the outcome, do double the work, and that is unsustainable. 10xing, the reason why 10xing is easier is because 10xing requires focus. You can't just do everything you've always done and expect to get 10x the results. You have to actually do less. You have to cut more out, and you have to focus on what they call your 10x goal, your 10x vision. And with that, you get these results that you would never get if you were just doing all the things. And early in my business, I was doing all the things. Anything I thought might make me money, I was doing it because I thought that's what you have to do. If I want to keep doubling, I have to keep, if I want to keep growing, I have to keep doing that. And I hit this wall earlier this year. I read this book and it crystallized this for me. And then I got some coaching. I have a whole video about this right here, what I learned from my $20,000 in coaching. What's funny is I learned it from this book that I paid $20 for. And then I paid $20,000 to have a coach tell me the same thing before I took action. So I'm just telling you, buy this book for $20 and you don't have to pay the $20,000 in coaching. You can just take action on what they tell you to do. Because my suspicion is if you read this book and you're in business, you will know the things that you're doing that you no longer should be doing, but you're still doing them because you're stuck in this 2x world, trying to just do everything, but just twice as much. 10x is easier, it's way more effective, and it's way more fun. Do you want a honorable mention? Like, is that something you want? If you do, I'll give you one. Here we go. The Millionaire Fast Lane. This book is like in a different category. These books are kind of cool. Like, look at the covers. Look at these nice, you got the light kind of sky blue. You got the white with the like reddish orange. And then you've got the yellow. And these are modern designs. This thing is like old and it's like old font. This book is gold though. I actually stole the title for my course. My course is called the 6-Figure Fast Lane. Here's why. Some people will say, oh my gosh, like, what are you talking about? Fast lane. That sounds like scammy. The reason why I love the word is number one, my name is Lane. You know what I mean? It just works. By the way, lanesebring.com/fastlane. If you want to go check out what I'm talking about, it's awesome. It might be exactly what you need to start and grow a phenomenal business that will change your life. The reason why I like the word fast lane, the argument he makes in this book is so often we get stuck in this idea that wealth has to be this slow, drawn out process. We listen to guys like Dave Ramsey and we say, yeah, wealth building has to be slow because get rich quick is a scam. And what he points out, and this is not me saying this is our boy MJ DeMarco. He says that it's not get rich quick that is the scam, it's get rich easy. There is no such thing as get rich easy, but get rich quick happens all the time. People sell a business and all of a sudden they're billionaires. That was quick. It wasn't easy, but it was quick. And so the reason why he talks about the Millionaire Fast Lane is he basically says you have two options. You have the slow lane, which is what almost everybody is on, and you have the fast lane. And then there's actually a third option, which is the sidewalk, which is even worse than the slow lane. A lot of people are on the sidewalk. That's like goes to nowhere. You build no wealth. You have no financial security. You have no assets, nothing. That's not good. But a lot of people settle for the slow lane. The slow lane is like this middle class option where it's like, I'm going to chill out and play it safe in the slow lane, build wealth slowly, do it the Dave Ramsey way, play it really safe over a long period of time. And then maybe when I'm 70, I can maybe I'll be the richest person at the nursing home, right? Wealth in a wheelchair is what he calls it. When I'm too old to enjoy it, my body is too worn out, I will finally have the life that I want. And he says, no, you can actually do it way sooner, but you're not going to do it by just working a normal job where you're getting a 2% raise every year if you're lucky and, putting a little bit of money away in retirement. That's the slow lane. And if you want to do it that way, that's fine. The reason why he calls it the Millionaire Fast Lane is because he says there are fast lane options, and he lays out about 6 models to get there. One of them is content, and that is actually the model that I propose in my course, the 6-Figure Fast Lane, how to build a content business that leads people from the content to a lead magnet, to your email funnel, and into your offer. And by the way, if you want to check all that out, it's over at lanesebring.com/workshop. Those are the 4 steps. that get you to that $1,000 a month consistently. It's all there. And it started out here in the workshop. So here you go. You got 3 books plus a bonus, and you got a couple months before the end of the year. If you read these books, or honestly, just pick one of these books and just read the heck out of it between now and the end of the year, it can change your life. And by the way, if I was going to pick one, I would pick this. A close second would be this. And then, well, you know, you get the idea. They're all good. Pick one, read it. I'll see you in the next video.